of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 015 Research Methodology for Management Decisions for MBA program. Presenting Block 1 Introduction to Research Methodology, Unit 1 Research Methodology and Overview.
Objectives. After going through this unit, you should be able to 1. Understand the meaning and importance of research. 2. Identify the need for research in decision making. And 3. Understand the role and purpose of research in important areas in business. Introduction. When managers use research, they are applying the methods of science to the art of management. All business undertakings operate in the world of uncertainty. There is no unique method which can entirely eliminate uncertainty, but research methodology, more than any other procedure, can minimize the degree of uncertainty. Thus, it reduces the probability of making a wrong choice amongst alternative courses of action. This is particularly significant in the light of increasing competition and growing size, which make the task of choosing the best course of action difficult for any business enterprise. It is imperative that any type of organization in the present environment needs systematic supply of information coupled with tools of analysis for making sound decisions which involve minimum risk. It is in this context that the research methodology plays a very important role. In this unit, we will discuss at length the importance of research in decision making by delineating all its relevant elements. Meaning of research. Research is not a fishing expedition for an encyclopedic gathering of assorted facts. Research is purposeful investigation. The scientific method carries out a detailed and comprehensive investigation of a given topic, concern, or issue. It provides a structure for decision making. In the real-world situation, need to make decisions to solve problems like social and environmental issues, increasing sales, employee retention, etc. You must have a problem, worry, or issue that has transformed into a question before you can begin investigating it. There are 3 parts involved in any investigation. 1. The implicit question posed. 2. The explicit answer proposed. 3. Collection, analysis, and interpretation of the information leading from the question to the answer. This third part is the defense that justifies the recommendation and is viewed as research. For example, consider the statement, "We recommend that model A TV be priced at 14,000 rupees. This was the recommendation forwarded to the marketing vice president by the marketing research manager. The implicit question posed in this quote is, what should be the selling price of a model A? The explicit answer is 14,000 rupees. The third part deals with the collection, analysis, and interpretation of the information leading from the question to the answer of 14,000 rupees. The research questions can be gleaned via observation of the outside world, past study, professional literature, or peer recommendations. Because your query must be answered, research should begin with the appropriate question. So, research is described as a methodical examination of a specific subject or problem using scientific methodologies. Business research generates and provides the needed qualitative or quantitative information to make business judgments, including problem-solving and decision-making actions. The word research identifies a process by which the organization attempts to supply the information required for making sound management decisions. Research is not synonymous with common sense. The difference revolves around words such as systematic, objective, and reproducible. Both research and common sense depend on information. The distinction between them lies in the procedures and methods adopted by which the information is obtained and used in arriving at conclusions. Research cannot address itself to the complete information on a particular subject. Hence, two secondary characteristics of research specify relevance and control. A systematic approach is essential in good research. Each step must be so planned that it leads to the next step. It is usually very difficult to go back and correct the mistakes of the previous step. Sometimes it is impossible. Even when it is possible, it will involve loss in time and money. Authors have divided research into number of steps. Both the number of steps and the names are somewhat arbitrary. However, the recognition of a sequence is crucial. Planning and organization are part of this systematic approach, with a lot of emphasis given to the interdependence of the various steps. While planning, one of the very common mistakes that committed is the separation of data collection and data analysis. First, we collect the data, then we decide what analysis is appropriate. This approach invites a disaster. In one of the research projects, depth interviews of the fresh college students were carried out at a very high cost and the necessary data were all collected. The data were still unanalyzed because no one knew how to proceed. Our point is that considerable thought should have been given at the planning stage itself as to what kind of analysis will be required for the project which will satisfy the needs of the decision maker. Objectivity warrants an approach which is independent of the researcher's personal views and opinions with regard to the answer to the problem under investigation. It is possible to have honest differences with respect to the proper definition or collection procedure, but the one selected must not be chosen to verify a prior position. Look at a scene in the morning and then in the evening. Use the naked eye and then the tinted glasses. It is the same with research. A high proportion of shoppers in store A have a positive opinion of store A. Shoppers in store B may have a totally different opinion of store A. Purchase behavior varies with price specials. It is always possible to prove a point if one desires by carefully selecting the respondent's time and place. True research attempts to find out an unbiased answer to the decision-making problem. A reproducible research procedure is one which an equally competent researcher could duplicate and from it obtain approximately the same results. In order to achieve reproducibility, all procedures must be stated unambiguously. Precise wording of questions, method of sampling, collection method, interviewer instruction, and all other details must be clearly stated. Even if the environment changes, the research is at least conceptually reproducible in the sense that the steps could be mentally duplicated. The interviewer should avoid the temptation of rephrasing the question for the respondent in order to preserve reproducibility aspect. Poor and vague sampling procedure can also lead to non-reproducibility. If procedures are vague and not stated clearly, you cannot expect consistency even from the same interviewers. Relevancy accomplishes two important tasks. First, it avoids the collection of unnecessary information along with the accompanying cost. In the second place, it forces the comparison of the data collected with the decision maker's criteria for action. Before the start of the research project, you should ask the question, what action would you take if the research answer were? This approach enables both the investigator and the decision maker to know whether the project is on the right direction. Control aspect is particularly elusive in research. We must be aware that the result of our study are due to the presence of some factor other than those we are investigating. It is impossible to have control on all other factors. The best way we can do is to have control for those we think are most likely to cause us difficulty. Suppose we study the relationship between shopping behavior and income without controlling for education and age. It will be the height of folly, since our findings may reflect the effect of education or age rather than income. Control raises extremely difficult issues when research is conducted in a live environment. Many factors other than the ones of principal interest may influence the research results. The danger is that the researcher may attribute changes to one variable when the uncontrolled variables are the causes. Control must consider two aspects. 1. Those variables that are truly within your control must be varied according to the nature of your investigation. 2. Those variables beyond your control should be recorded. Research methodology. The term methodology is frequently used in research projects and it gives a complete overview of the rationality of the research. Research methodology refers how scientific research is carried out. It involves rationally adopting several methods to tackle research challenges in a systematic manner. Methodology aids in comprehending not just the results of scientific investigation, but also the method itself. In a broader way, methodology entails searching or linking methods and studying specific theories used in research field areas, designing the best strategy according to research goals and objectives. Practically saying, research methodology answers how of any piece of research is related to the research technique and how a researcher plans a study in a structured way to ensure reliable outcomes that address the study's goals and objectives. Apart from that, research methodology should explain the design decisions by illustrating that the approaches and techniques chosen match the study objectives and goals and provide valid and accurate results. A suitable research methodology yields scientifically solid results, whereas a lousy methodology yields none. Hence, it should highlight some basic what, how, why questions of our research, such as 1. What was the purpose of your research? 2. What type of research method can we use and why? 3. What type of data should we consider for your research analysis purpose? 4. What were the data collecting methods? 5. How did you analyze the collected data? 6. What kind of resources has been used in your research? In addition, methodologies encompass all approaches, strategies, and instruments used by a researcher to finish the experiment and solve the study challenge, while methods display the entire study framework, explaining its various research design components. After all, methodology enables researchers to verify a study's accuracy and helps them identify the research method's credibility, validity, and dependability. Another way, we can say that methodology will justify choosing the proper methods. On the other side, research methods give detailed information on the research design, participants, materials, equipments, variables, and processes. Research method. The tactics, procedures, or techniques used in collecting data or evidence for analysis to reveal new knowledge or generate a better understanding of a topic are referred to as research methods. The term research methods refers to all of the researcher's processes undergoing when investigating his study issue. As a result, techniques will be regarded as the heart of research methodology. There are several research procedures, each of which employs a unique set of data gathering instruments. So, when preparing your approaches, you will need to make critical judgments over different methods used in the research. For instance, how do you collect data and how do you analyze the data? Thus, research methodology isn't simply about the research methods, but it is to consider the logic behind using the methods. Researchers need to identify the logic and rationality of using one approach over the another. Business research method. A business research method refers to a set of research procedures, tactics, or techniques used by organizations to assess if a particular business venture is worthwhile of their time and effort. Furthermore, research methodologies assist businesses in determining the feasibility of their firm and recommend the right marketing strategy for their offerings. Business research may assist in determining the potential desires of the clients and allowing to design better goods and services. The nature of the business also draws attention to the unique difficulties that a company addresses. It highlights the major emphasis of the company's products and incorporates everything a firm undertakes to achieve its objectives. Some of the critical areas where business research is used: A. Reducing risks. Any company, large or small, should strive to minimize risks wherever feasible. B. Identify threats for business. C. Helps business to build customer-centric. D. Forecast revenue. E. Acquire a more competitive business. Types of research. However, research definition also varies from expert to expert and domain to domain. In a large context, variations of research definition could be understood and underpinned depending on researchers' research philosophical thinking. The belief of particular philosophy shapes researchers' opinion to choose particular methods for finding their research question answer. In social science, domain perspectives, research can be classified into three broad categories: application, objective, and inquiry based on their perspectives in the social science domain. When looking at a research project from the standpoint of its application, there are two major categories to consider: pure and applied research. Pure research deals with very abstract or specialized concepts where the process involves examination, development, verification of research methods, or developing and testing the theories. At the same time, research is classified as descriptive, correlation, and explanatory research based on their objectivity to do research. Descriptive research mainly describes a particular situation, individual, group, or phenomenon. This method is suitable when the specific research topic is less explored or proper knowledge is not in existence. The correlational based study mainly emphasizes finding an association between two or more aspects of a phenomenon. Rather than that, sometimes researchers attempt to do research for more clarification purposes, specifically to understand or explain two or more aspects of a phenomenon, known as explanatory based research. From the mode of inquiry perspective, social research mainly follows three broad approaches to find an answer related to the research question. One is a qualitative or unstructured research approach that gives researchers flexibility in all aspects of the research process, follows an unstructured, open, flexible way of inquiry. Study results mainly focus on its diversity and narrative perspective rather than an analytical or quantified perspective, and primarily concentrate on the description of experience and feeling instead of their measurements. Another is the structured or quantitative approach, which is deeply guided by rationalism and structured set of methods aiming to measure the phenomenal variation of variables by giving more importance to the reliability and validity of findings and communicating these findings more collectively so that inferences can be generalized. However, researchers will choose or combine multiple methods for data collection and data analysis perspective for better research objectivity or problem representation purpose. Importance of business research. Business research plays a critical role in day-to-day business activities. It helps to solve simple to complex problems like increasing sales of a particular product in a particular market segment and introducing a new product or starting a new business. The below points are highlighting the important ways the research is important for business. 1. For new ideas and insights. Research inculcates scientific and rational thinking, and it promotes the development of logical habits of thinking and organization. The role of research in several fields of applied economics, whether related to business or the economy, has considerably increased in modern times. Research may mean the outlet for new ideas and insights to philosophers and thinkers. 2. Solving operational problems. The complex nature of business and government has focused attention on the use of research in solving operational problems. Research provides the basis for nearly all government policies in our economic system. 3. Decisions for policy making. Through research, we can devise alternative policies and examine the consequences of each policy maker. Decision making may not be part of a research, but research certainly facilitates the policy maker's decision. 4. Solving problems. Research has its special significance in solving business and industry operational and planning problems. Research is equally essential for social scientists in studying social relationships, seeking answers to various social problems, and providing practical guidance in solving immediate problems of human relations. Firms also conducted research in their core areas to find problem-related specific solutions. A. Products. For testing or introducing new products for existing or new product line extensions purposed. Identifying product core value attributes that attract more consumers, such as product packaging related research and increased product shelf life. B. Price. Understanding the target segment's people's price sensitiveness related goods or services incurred cost. Understand whether consumers treated price as a significant entity for perceived value measurement. C. Place. identification of suitable platforms for business transaction purposes, and took a preventive measurement basis of satisfaction or corporation prospect between supplier and distributors. D. Promotions. Identify effective or efficient media platforms for running product ads and choosing telecast frequency time ads. Besides that, decide how much money we should invest for promotional activity. Business decisions. Operational research, market research, and motivational research are considered crucial, and their results assist in making business decisions in more than one way. For students, to those students who are to write a master's or PhD thesis, research may mean careerism or a way to attain a high position in the social structure. It helps to understand the researcher as a user of the library, to generalize the new theories. To analysts and intellectuals, research may mean the generalizations of new theories, develops a critical and scientific attitude, disciplined thinking or absence of mind to observe objectively. Research skills will pay off in the long term, particularly in the age of information. Role of research in important areas. The purpose of research is to improve society and business by progressing knowledge through scientific theories, concepts, and ideas. Through research, an executive can quickly get a synopsis of the current scenario, which improves his or her information base for making sound decisions affecting future operations of the enterprise. Marketing. Marketing research has become very crucial in taking sound marketing decisions. Marketing research involves the process of systematic collection, compilation, analysis, and interpretation of relevant data for marketing decisions. Research tools are applied effectively for studies involving demand forecasting, consumer buying behavior, measuring advertising effectiveness, media selection, test marketing, product positioning, and new product potential. Production. Research enables an organization to decide on what to produce, how much to produce, when to produce, and for whom to produce in the field of production. Research tools are also of immense help in quality control and setting up optimum inventory level. Banking. Banking institutions have found it useful to set up research departments for the purpose of gathering and analyzing information both for their internal operations and for making in-depth studies on economic conditions of business. Reserve Bank of India has set up an excellent research department for planning and management reporting. Materials. The Materials Department uses research to frame suitable policies regarding where to buy, how much to buy, when to buy, and what price to buy. Human Resource Development. The Human Resource Development Department uses research to study wage fates, incentive schemes, cost of living, employee turnover rates, employment trends, and performance appraisal. It also uses research effectively for its most important activity, namely manpower planning. Government. Research lays a foundation for all government policies in our economic system. For example, research is applied for evolving the union finance budget and railway budget every year. Research is used for economic planning and optimum utilization of resources for the development of the nation. Research is also needed for systematic collection of information on the economic and social structure of the nation. Such information indicates what is happening to the economy and what changes are taking place. Summary. We have started the discussion by emphasizing that research is the application of science to the art of management. Research lays the structure for decision making. Research is not synonymous with common sense. Research is characterized by systematic, objective, reproducible, relevance, and control. Research methodology refers to conducting research in a systematic manner using different research methods and explain the rationality behind using certain methods. Research methodology minimizes the degree of uncertainty involved in management decisions. Business research methods refers to a set of research procedures, tactics, or techniques used by organization. Research plays a crucial role in businesses to solve simple to complex problems. The importance and role of research in the areas of management has been briefly covered. The areas include marketing, production, banking, materials, human resource development, and government.
You were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program. Course code Mmpc 015 Research Methodology for Management Decisions. Course Coordinator Dr. Venkataya Chittipaka, Associate Professor from School of Management Studies IGNOU. Voiceover by Renuka. Edited by Savita. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.